Hi, my name is Andrew Wells with Executive Lines, Living Life on Purpose.
And I'm Matt Wilson, and we sit down with successful business owners who are also living a life of purpose. And our goal is to not only encourage you, but for you to hear the challenges that they've faced and the ways that they walk through these things and how their faith has guided them through that process.
And so we're here with our guest today. It's Kasey Birdsong. If you haven't heard about him now, you will soon. He is a CEO of his most recent project, Planet Fundraiser. It's an online app that can turn everyday receipts into donations for your favorite charity. They just recently raised a substantial seed venture round as they're pursuing scaling on a national level. Now, he's also the founder of AIC Concrete and Construction, a commercial concrete subcontractor company, and is a co-founder with his wife of Game Day Girl Stuff, a non-logoed women's apparel to be worn on game day, but because it's fashionable, it can be worn every day, not just on game day event. I hope I didn't butcher that. Sheena, please forgive me.
The boss will be happy. You did a great job, Andrew.
And then he's also the founder of My Church Circle, an online app that allows users to connect with each other and grow through their small groups. Has a bachelor's of mechanical engineering from University of Alabama and is a family man residing in Birmingham with his wife Sheena and his two daughters, Ella and Ava. Wow, I am so dizzy with all of that things that you're doing. That is so much.
I am too, a little bit.
It's crazy. How do you do all this?
I think you got to have a strong supporting wife. She helps keep the family schedule together, but really being able to prioritize and I call it counterbalancing. Rather than, there's no such thing as a balanced life when you're doing all that, but really being intentional with your time and how you spend it.
That's good. Wow, good.
Very good. So, obviously as a successful entrepreneur, did you always know that you were going to start your own business, or kind of take us back to what brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, I've always just enjoyed business and working with other people, and just really it's a lot of fun, just building the relationships with people, taking on, identifying problems and coming up with solutions and solving them. So absolutely. Even at an early age, just always enjoy either understanding business or, what problems could we solve and build a team to do it together. And so my plan was always to build some type of company, for sure.
That's good.
So you kind of start. So if you don't know, I think you started the pre-Tesla, right?
yeah,
so when you're in Alabama.
Yeah. So that's funny. You did some good research there. So my senior year project, the team I was on, we were charged with. We converted a 1992 Honda Civic into an electric car. Butchered the thing to death, but the goal was to make the car so it was completely electric, and so that our professor, Dr. Kavanaugh, could be able at the end of the semester drive it 15 miles to his lake house successfully on one charge.
So this was before there was Elon Musk. There was this guy.
I think it went 15 miles per hour, and it did make it the 15 miles on a full charge.
But it did it make it?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
you guys eventually got it done.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, obviously accomplishing a lot in business thus far, what would you say would be some of the greatest accomplishments that come out to you?
For me, I look at the accomplishments in the sense of where do they make a positive impact. So anytime that, from startup or from concrete business or any of that, is whenever we have a customer that thanks us for the job well done. Those are small wins, but those are the kind of wins that we try to do in all the companies, is really where the customer at the end of the day, that we've benefited them in some way in their life or solved some problem that they personally had.
Mm-hmm. And so as you went through this, after you graduated, you built this awesome pre-Tesla, and then Elon Musk stole your company, right?
Yeah, right.
And then, but then you created an app called My Church. What is it called? My Church Circle?
Yeah, My Church Circle.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was out of the. So kind of backing up before that, I helped my wife start her first business and built her online website. And through the course of building that, I really found a love for technology from the standpoint of technology you can scale, and where instead of maybe helping one person, you could build something to help many. So that was really the idea of My Church Circle, was recognizing that in large churches, sometimes you get disconnected from people, and rather than having a relationship and doing everything through Facebook, similar how LinkedIn took and focused on business, was to build a platform where people could focus on things related to the church, helping people out, doing serve events, small groups, that platform. So that was really the creation of that was, let's build a technology that can benefit the community.
Essentially, you guys have had a lot of self-teaching, and with that self-teaching, there are a lot of things that you've learned that have been positive, but there are also challenges that you've had to face in the school of hard knocks. Those are hard-learned lessons that you've had to face in getting to where you're at now as well. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just in life, I think you have a plan, and sometimes you find out quickly that it's not your plan, it's God's plan, and you've got to know how to adapt to that, from a personal and business standpoint, both. And about 8 years ago, this month, I was working for a great company, Brassfield and Gorey, had a great career going, and the plan was just to learn as much as I could there. My dad was in construction. Eventually, one day, we planned to partner in business, and got a call that he been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, and really my world got turned upside down. All plans that we had, felt like they'd gone down the drain, and it was a tough time. And to overcome that, I just had to be, find comfort in my faith and know that God had a plan, and that was part of it. And that's really what I had to lean on to get through those times.
And it wasn't just your father getting that phone call. I mean, you were very anxious. I mean, you want to start a business. You want to start it with him.
That's right.
You're working at a project manager. So it's like I'm going to exit my career at another office to start my own company, and that became a totally
So what happened was that I decided that I was going to leave there and go spend the last 6 months with my dad. So I quit my job there. Brassfield and Gorey was excellent to me in the transition and helping me to get moved back home. And I put everything on pause. We just had a 6-month-old baby at home. My wife was super supportive, and we picked up, no job, nothing, moved back to where my parents lived, and I spent the last 6 months with my dad. And during the course of that, I had to make some money. I got a 6-month-old, a newborn, and fortunately we put some savings back, and we started a small concrete company, and was doing that just temporarily, trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And fortunately that company began to grow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It did really well too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So what was that, as you were growing the concrete company, how were you able to manage that? So you just started a concrete company. Your father, he passed away.
Right.
So you had all this emotional roller coaster during that time. How did you get started in that while you were trying to figure out what you were going to do?
Well,
did you just decide concrete?
Well, that's what I knew about. I had the background in it. I had a friend that was building houses that needed some work done. So put together a small crew of guys, and we started out just doing driveways, sidewalks, just real small.
It wasn't
work.
Intentional. It was like,
no, not at
just
all.
Kind of
you
needed something.
Right. It was some income.
It was an opportunity.
Right. It was a way to buy some diapers and baby food, and
expensive.
Exactly. So that
forces you to be successful. Huh?
That's right. So so that it started out just really to do something to generate income. That's what I knew how to do, mm-hmm. and then from there it turned into from a few driveways to doing a few houses, the foundations, the slabs, to then turning in. We started doing commercial construction work. Mm-hmm. Doing Kroger's, Aldi grocery stores, Walmart's, and just continue to grow from there.
So from there, obviously, there's a big difference in concrete and construction and technology firms.
Absolutely, there is.
And take us through, as you started My Church Circle. Mm-hmm. Give us kind of the play into that. How did that shift from concrete to an app?
Yeah. So it's just from my wife starting her business and an online apparel store, I learned how to do technology through that and found a passion for technology. And really, because you could take something and scale it, you could build something where through technology you could help many people at masses rather than just yourself being able to do it. So I wanted to build a platform and create an environment that many people could benefit, helping each other out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the idea and the purpose of starting my church circle.
And then, but that didn't really succeed, I guess, in a way that everybody.
Right. Yeah.
thought.
So
I mean, you're doing really well with concrete.
Yep.
You found a love and passion for technology.
Right.
You got excited.
Yep.
Let's do this thing, and then it just kind of
not
really took off.
Yeah,
like
I made the mistake of not validating the market and building out the product. It became more of a passion project rather than being a sustainable business. There was never really thought about how to monetize it, and then it came to a point of where in order to grow it, it needed to generate some revenue, which it wasn't that type of model to be built that way. So that's really the decision was made that we're going to keep it going, self-fund it, and let it run so other people can benefit from it, but not try to pursue it in a true business model fashion.
So from there, going from my church circle, and I remember the passion that you had about it, and
Absolutely.
you were very excited and believed in it. To have something that ultimately didn't pan out the way that you wanted to, and then shift into Planet Fundraiser, is that in the back of your mind now, or did you just learn from the tactical decisions that didn't necessarily work out the right way the first time, or build on that?
Well, I think a lot of times young entrepreneurs or business people, you can be so drilled into your idea, and that's the idea. That's the way it has to be in the beginning. And when it doesn't work, you can almost drive yourself into the ground where you've got to recognize that, okay, this isn't working, the market's not responding to it, but is there a way to pivot, or is there a way to take what you've done, learn from that, and make something that can still achieve your overarching vision, which in my case was, how do we make something that can benefit a lot of people in the community at scale? And so I don't see it as a failure, but really a learning experience, or any failure, I see it as it's a data point along the long journey of life, or the short journey of life actually, that that you just learn from to get you to the next place or the next destination to accomplish either what you're trying to do or to make a positive impact in your community.
Yeah, I was thinking when you're saying long journey and short journey, boy, it does feel long during those grueling times, doesn't it?
In the early days of building a business, when you're in the basement by yourself, on the computer building stuff, it feels
when
really
you're having
lonely.
fun,
That's right.
It gets too short.
That's right.
So, you're being successful. So you got this Planet Fundraiser. You got a lot of the tools. But the tools weren't just ingrained. You were learning it from. You had a couple prerequisite learning points that although it didn't achieve your goals for those items of the time, those projects at the time, they're helping you be, pretty successful right now. It's starting to take off really well at this point.
Well, the biggest thing I learned along the way is how do you build a great team? And I think that if you look at any successful business, it always has a strong, great team with a good vision. I hope that's what I bring to the table with my team is the vision. But I've hired so many people that are all smarter than me that have actually made my church, Planet Fundraiser be what it's becoming. We got a long ways to go. We're early stage, but I'm most proud of the team we put together of people that just they see the vision, they believe in it, and while we're sitting here talking, they're out there getting it done, and I couldn't be more proud than that.
Do you think you would have had that been as successful or been able to figure it out, learn it with Planet Fundraiser had you not started My Church Circle?
I don't think so. I think that I learned a lot of things not to do trying to build a product and launch it in the marketplace. And I went about that in kind of a solo manner myself, where I try to go do a lot of the things by myself instead of building out a team. And that was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned is that you've got to have a great team to build a great company. You can't do it alone. You got to lean on the people that you got to find people that are talented, and then you've got to just assemble them together with a vision to go to a common path.
So, obviously, again, if you're ever starting a business, there's going to be a period of time that, and that could be a long period of time. You're wondering, did I make the right decision?
Absolutely.
Did I just make a huge mistake? Is this going to work?
Sure.
Are people going to ultimately buy, especially when you're developing something that's brand new? So what was that like? I mean, obviously, everybody wants to think that, success is a straight line. We know that it goes up and down and back and forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
But tell us, in the early phases, I mean, obviously you still had the concrete company,
Sure.
but, with this, you're sinking a lot of money into it.
Yep.
Were there ever, any of those days where, you're having those thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be passionate about whatever you're doing. Or Steve Jobs, I'll probably hack the quote up, but he says, you got to be passionate about what you're doing. If not, it gets so hard you'll quit, right? And I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, that is there's those days where if you didn't love what you're doing and if you didn't believe in the vision, it's easy to give up. And when you encounter those, I think it's all about persistence. All the successful people that I know that have been fortunate enough to allow me to either them be a mentor or open up to me about their journey is that they have those days. Those days are not just one of those days, they're all the time. And just really being persistent and knowing just keep pushing forward if you believe in it. A good friend of mine, actually when I was going through losing my dad, he gave me an acronym that I'll never forget and I'll think about all the time called PUSH. Pray until something happens. And when you're in those trenches and you feel alone, hopefully you've got a support system around you. But even if you are feeling alone, I think about that push, and it always works. It always works.
It's like push, pray until something happens. You were saying, I remember we talked a little bit about support, because a lot of people that are in a situation like if you don't have good support, you run into a depression or
Sure.
what happens?
Right.
You had a situation where you encountered.
Yeah. I mean,
friend
it's a
members.
real thing. I mean, it's called founder's depression, and it's a real thing that's out there that a lot of people don't know about or don't talk about. And if you go through it, maybe you feel it yourself. But starting a business, to your point, Matt, is extremely tough, and those ups and downs. I mean, it can create depression. And so there's founder's depression that's out there, and I actually lost a friend to it, where you get down on yourself. And you feel like you are alone and not realize there is those people around you that you need to reach out to. And usually the barrier is that people don't open up and actually go say, you want everything to look like it's all peaches and roses on the outside when in fact it's not. So that's one of the things I would advise anybody that's starting a business is to have a good support system with people that you can open up to, be strong in your faith, and know that you can. Don't go at it alone. I mean, open up and tell people about your bad days. Tell people about your struggles. If you ever have those type of thoughts, have a plan that if you're going to have a suicidal thought, who do you contact? Who's your top 3 people that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having some bad thoughts right now, and allow those people to come help
Get
you
more
out.
people to push with you.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's one of the goals of this show is to encourage people and let people hear things just
Sure.
like that. Because, if you're on the outside looking in, you don't realize what it takes to make some of these things happen. But at the same time, to know that there are other people like you that,
Sure.
a successful guy who still battles those, those mental dilemmas that
There's
we
up
all
and downs.
face. And so, what I want to offer to, all of the people out there is if you ever get to a point and you don't have that supporting cast, you don't have those people in your life already, reach out to one of us. I mean, we've got contact info where you can reach out to us because we've been through the fire, we've been through the trials, and, if you don't know who else to talk to, please just know that we've experienced some of the things that we're talking about here. So, I always want to talk to somebody who's been through something
Sure.
versus somebody who's acting like, they've got it all together because, life is challenging in of itself, but, being a business owner is a whole nother level of challenging. And, it's one of those things that you've got to know that there are other people out there and you're not all alone. So I think that that's vital.
Yeah, and just knowing that that being successful in business is not the most important thing in life, right? I mean, it's faith and family and friends. So it's knowing that and knowing that at the end of the day that the business, you're not going to be measured by how successful your business is, right? It's going to be about those relationships with the people around you and leaning on those people. And that, for me, that gives me comfort that if I screw up a business, you know what? I'll go either go start another one or I'll go get a job working for somebody, right? And a mentor once told me that. He said, debating on whether or not that I was going to go out and start my own business. He said, well, how have you done in your career path with your job? I've done pretty well. Well, do you think you could go get another job? Yeah. And he said, what are you worried about? Go start something. Go, pour your heart into it. Mm-hmm. Go build it. And if it doesn't work out, go get your resume, dust it off, and go get another job. And I think that gives you gave me some comfort as well, thinking that way. But it is. I mean, starting a business is it's a leap of faith. It's you got to believe in it, and you can't kind of put your toe in the water. You just got to decide you're going to do it and go for it.
That's good.
So thank you for sharing with us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a great guest. I really enjoyed this.
Well, I wouldn't plan on going that way, but I hope that anything that people can just relate with maybe some of the struggles that I've been through and experienced and apply it to themselves to know that they're not alone. There's and I found that out by talking to people, other business owners, that everybody goes through those trenches. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the great things about entrepreneurship is it is somewhat of a brotherhood of people that have done it, have felt those pains, and I found that people love to help you out. You just have to ask and be open up to people.
Mm-hmm. So a couple takeaways that we can learn from Kasey today is that always push through some of your challenges, push with other people, and learn to pivot or be able to pivot with existing opportunities that may turn into gold mines. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you, Kasey. So if people want to check out Planet Fundraiser, how can they find you?
Sure. You can go to our website, planetfundraiser.com, or you can go download the free app at the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Just search Planet Fundraiser and it'll show up.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching today. Please check us out at executivelion.com or on Living Life on Purpose on Facebook, and you can follow us there.
And if you really liked it, go ahead and like us on Facebook, and if you loved it, share it with 2 of your friends.
And in the comments down below, if you'll tell us what organization you would like to support on Planet Fundraiser, or a restaurant or chain of restaurants that you would like to see added to the app.
So we enjoyed having you guys, and check us out 2 weeks from now. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.